Have you ever noticed how some people command attention without saying a word? That silence you just experienced, that was intentional. And today we're going to be diving into something that might change the way you communicate forever. The art of strategic silence. So before we move on, I want to introduce myself. For those who are new to this channel, I am Naomi Robinson and I am a feminine energy and refinement coach. And my channel is based around helping women out there get back into their feminine grace. Being feminine is something that is a natural gift that us women have been given. But in this new world that we live in, it's like we've been taught that it's about having masculine energy, and masculine energy is a doing energy. Feminine energy is an attracting energy. So we need to get back to attracting what we want. And that's what we do on this channel. We attract what we want through magnetic presence, the art of strategic silence, and much more. So make sure you subscribe to this channel today so you don't miss out. So let me tell you a little story. A couple of weeks ago, I went to an event and we got to the part of the event where people were asking questions and stuff like that. And somebody asked me a question. And instead of jumping in with an answer, what I did was pause. And you know what happened? Everybody started to lean in and the energy in the room shifted. And that's because silence causes tension, the good kind. And here's the thing about silence. When we're silent, it triggers something in the brain. And when we encounter silence in conversations, our brain starts working overtime. We become more alert, more engaged. And at that point, we're more likely to carefully consider and listen to what's being said. So think about music. Think about the pauses that occur in the music that we listen to. If there was no pauses, it would literally just be noise. And it's the same with communication. It's the pauses that gives meaning to the sound. So now let's move on to some practical application. Let's talk about how you can use certain tactics in everyday communication. So let's talk about negotiations. Say if you was talking to a potential client and you've just discussed prices. Instead of explaining or justifying your price, just wait. You see that silence? Most people will fill it by accepting your terms or even making a counter offer. So don't ever rush when you are negotiating your prices. Take your time. So let's move on to in relationships. When someone's sharing something important with you, try and resist jumping in with advice. Instead, give them space, because this silence tells them, I'm here, I'm listening, and what you're saying matters. In leadership, after asking a team member their opinion, wait. Even if they give a partial answer, stay quiet. Often their best answers come in their second or third wave of thoughts. So now let's move on to something more practical, which is the power pause technique. Here's something I call the power pause. It's simple, but it's really effective. Before responding to any important question, count to 3 in your head. Maintain comfortable eye contact. Keep your expression neutral but engaged. And then take a slow, deliberate breath. This tiny moment of silence does 3 things. It shows you're thoughtful and considering your response. It gives you time to formulate better answers and creates anticipation for what you'll say next. So now let's do a little interactive exercise. So let's try something right now together. I want you to practice active listening with a strategic silence. So the next time someone's speaking to you, focus completely on what they're saying. Fight the urge to plan your response whilst they're speaking. And then when they finish, take the power pause. Still don't respond straight away. And then you respond. So after having a pause, you respond. So now let's talk about what not to do. The biggest mistake is to use silence as a weapon. This isn't about making people feel uncomfortable or even playing power games. That's not what it's about. Because I feel like, because it's called strategic silence, a lot of people might feel like, yeah, it's about having the upper hand. It's not that. It's not that. What it is about is, it's about creating space for meaningful and stronger connections. As I've mentioned previously, during conversation, a lot of people listen to respond. That's if they're listening at all. So using these strategies, these silent strategies, is more to do with building deeper connections. Because when people see that you're listening to them and that you're actually interested in what they've got to say, it draws them in. And that works when you're trying to get new clients, when you're trying to build new relationships, you're trying to get that new business partner. Also, timing is everything. There's a difference between strategic silence and awkward silence. And you'll know when you've paused for too long, when people start getting fidgety or look uncomfortable or no longer engaged. So now let's move on to some advanced techniques. And here's where it gets really interesting. And one of the things that you can do is you can combine strategic silence with body language, and doing that will have maximum impact. So maintain posture, use subtle nodding, keep your hands visible and still, and practice comfortable eye contact. So start small, and here are some scenarios that you can try. In your next meeting, wait 3 seconds before you respond to any questions. In personal conversations, practice holding space instead of trying to fill it. When negotiating, let silence do the heavy lifting after stating your position. So remember, the goal isn't to be silent, it's to be strategic. Think of silence as a tool in your communication toolkit. If it's used thoughtfully, it can help your words to carry more weight and also make your presence more powerful. And as we wrap up, I want you to notice something. Throughout this video, I've used strategic silence. And what I want to know is, did you feel the impact? And do you notice how it drew you in? And if you want to dive deep into mastering the art of influential communication, I've created a program which is called the 21-Day Quiet Revolution program, where I help ambitious women cultivate their magnetic queen energy and lead with quiet power. The program combines daily practices, short teachings, and community support to guide you through the core principles of the Queen's alchemy. So, if you are interested, then email me at naomi@thediaryofnaomi.co.uk and simply just type quiet power so I'll know, and I'll get back to you with information. But we have come to the end of this video, and I want to say thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And the one thing you need to remember is your presence is your power. Bye for now. Mwah.